Hey there. Ready to dive into some more prosperity and abundance? You know I am. And this time, you've sent us some really interesting material.
Yeah, this is from Martha Guidici.
A Unity teacher.
Have you heard of her before?
I haven't, but I'm ready to learn. And I'm always looking for, different perspectives on creating a life we love, which is what we're doing here.
And what's cool about Giudici's approach, at least from what I've read so far, is that it's not just about you know, chanting affirmations and hoping for the best.
Right.
She brings together kind of spiritual principles with actual practical steps,
Oh, I like that.
which I think is going to be really interesting to unpack.
Yeah, absolutely. So instead of just telling us to think rich, Juishi uses this analogy of a house to represent our consciousness. And get this, the different parts of the house, like your closets or the attic, even the basement and the garage, they each symbolize different aspects of our thinking that might be holding us back
I love that.
from actually experiencing wealth and abundance.
Yeah, and it's such a good way to think about it, right? Because we've all got those closets,
Oh, tell me about it.
or that area of the basement.
Yes.
That's oh, I don't even want to go in there.
It's a little scary.
It's a little scary, but Judici's saying those physical spaces, they're often mirroring what's going on in our minds
Oh, interesting. Okay.
when it comes to, attracting abundance.
Okay, so I'm hooked.
Yeah.
What is hiding in these metaphorical closets and attics? Tell me everything.
All right, well, let's start with those closets and drawers, those junk drawers we all have.
Ugh, yes.
And think of those as the beliefs that we've outgrown, or maybe even fears that we have about letting go,
Okay.
even if it's something good.
Oh, interesting. Oh, oh gosh, I can think of so many examples. Like clinging to that job that you kind of hate, but it feels safe. So you just stay, even though there's a part of you that knows
100%.
that you want something more. Yes.
Or those limiting beliefs about money that we might have, money is the root of all evil kind of thing, even though we probably know deep down that's not actually true.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we got to clean out those mental closets for sure. What about the attic? What's going on up there?
Okay, so the attic, that's where all those messages from childhood end up, right?
Yeah.
From way back when.
The dusty old messages.
The dusty old messages. They can really limit us, especially when it comes to abundance.
Oh,
It's like that you only get one shot at this kind of mentality. Or save for a rainy day,
oh yes.
which keeps us hoarding our resources out of fear rather than trusting that there's a flow.
Ooh, that resonates with me, that rainy day mentality.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, we're always preparing for scarcity instead of expecting abundance.
And you're blocking the flow when you do that.
Oh,
Giudici, she actually tells this story, and I don't know if this is true or not, but about a woman who found a stack of gift certificates while cleaning out her desk drawer. They were worth hundreds of dollars.
no way. That's amazing.
She just forgot about them.
Wow. It's like finding literal treasure. Hidden treasure. Ooh, now I'm kind of curious what's in my desk drawers. Okay, so we've done the closets, the drawers, the attic.
Yeah.
What about the basement? What's down there?
Ooh, the basement, right.
Hmm.
This is where things get a little scarier, right? Metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even want to go down there.
Exactly.
It's too
Too many spiders.
Yeah.
But this is usually where we're holding those deeper fears,
Okay.
especially fears around poverty or what if I don't have enough?
Right.
It can also be a place where old hurts and guilt
Mm-hmm.
can kind of fester a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
which then impacts us in the present moment.
Yeah, so it's even if it's subconscious, even if we're not thinking about it, if we're carrying around that baggage of past financial struggles or maybe resentment towards someone who did us wrong in a financial way, it's
Yeah.
that energy is still there, creating a block.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what's fascinating about Giudici's approach is she doesn't just focus on those practical steps. She acknowledges that there's also this emotional and spiritual component to it.
Right.
And for her, the key to clearing the basement is forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Huh. So we're not just talking about clearing out the cobwebs and dust bunnies down there. We're talking about a deep cleaning of the soul.
Exactly.
Okay.
And she makes this point, and it's a really important point. She says we have to go beyond just saying the words, I forgive you.
Right.
It has to be this genuine release of those old patterns, those old resentments that are keeping us stuck in the past.
Wow. It's not just about making space in our homes, but in our hearts and minds, too. So much of this is resonating with me already, and we're just getting started. Now, what about the garage? What's going on in the garage?
Well, you see,
The suspense is killing me. What's in the garage? What's the Giudici's take on the garage and this whole abundance analogy?
okay, so this is where it gets interesting. This is like our vehicle of expression.
Okay.
So are we feeling stuck? Are we feeling limited in how we kind of create and experience freedom? And our garage, like whether it's cluttered, whether it's organized, that can actually reflect, some of our deeper beliefs
Okay.
about our ability to kind of move towards our goals and generate abundance and really like experience that sense of limitless possibility.
Okay, I can see that. So if our metaphorical garage is like overflowing with junk, we might be telling ourselves we don't have the space to take on new opportunities or even like let our creativity flow. Like we're just sabotaging ourselves before we even get started.
And she really ties it back to this fear of lack, right?
Right.
This idea that, if we're so focused on what we don't have, it's like trying to, fill up a bottomless pit.
Right. Or it makes me think of that saying like, miserly and miserable come from the same root word.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it's like you just hoard and you hoard both physically and mentally. And what do you get besides a really cluttered garage? You just get a whole lot of unhappiness.
Yeah. And she says that like that fear-based thinking leads us to like make decisions from that place of not enough rather than like I have enough, there's enough to go around.
Right.
So it's like we're running on fumes rather than like fueling our journey.
Right, right. Okay, I'm starting to see how all these pieces of the house fit together. It's not just about like wishing for a bigger bank account. It's about clearing out that mental and emotional clutter that's actually like blocking the flow
Yeah.
of abundance in all areas of our lives.
That's it. That's like
Yeah.
her core message, right?
Yeah.
Prosperity is not just something that like happens to us. It's something that we like cultivate
Okay.
by, doing that work to align our inner world with our outer world.
Right. It's that harmony between our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions and even like our physical environment.
100%.
But how do we do that? We've decluttered the closets, the attic, the basement, and the garage. Now what?
Well, Giudici, she really stresses, it's about that conscious effort.
Okay.
It's not just a one-time thing,
Right.
It's an ongoing practice.
Right.
She even calls it spiritual hygiene, which I kind of love.
Spiritual hygiene. I like that. Okay, so it's like we've got to be vigilant always about what we're allowing into our mental and emotional homes. It's like we wouldn't invite a pack of raccoons to move into our attic.
Right.
We can't let those limiting beliefs just like take up residence.
Exactly. It's that awareness, right?
Yes.
Like, what are those messages that we're feeding ourselves? What are the beliefs we're holding on to? And the actions that we're taking.
Or not taking. Yeah.
Because that's what really creates, like, our reality.
Yeah, because we're powerful creators. We forget that sometimes.
We are, and Giudici reminds us, we have the power to choose a different reality.
Okay.
We can choose a more abundant reality just by, like, shifting our perspective and aligning ourselves with kind of the truth of who we are.
Okay. And who are we? Tell me more about that.
Well, we are inherently abundant beings.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? We are connected to this, like, limitless source. Giudici, coming from, the unity perspective, she might call it divine mind or, like, universal intelligence.
Okay.
But regardless of what you call it, it's there.
It is.
And it's always available to us.
It's like we forget that we're hardwired for that we have access to this wellspring of prosperity within us and all around us.
And her work is really about, like, reminding us of that truth, like stepping into our power.
Yeah.
Embracing our worthiness.
Yeah.
And really, like, creating a life that reflects that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So good. I'm feeling very inspired, but I have to say, sometimes it is hard to, like, maintain that positive mindset all the time.
Oh, for sure.
Life throws those curveballs.
100%. Yeah.
And the doubts start to creep in, and it's easy to fall back into those old patterns.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, she reminds us to, like, it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's not a destination. So be gentle with yourself along the way. And she emphasizes, again, forgiveness is so key. And not just for others, but also for ourselves.
Oh, right. So if we mess up, if we have a moment of doubt or fear, we don't beat ourselves up about it. We just acknowledge it. We forgive ourselves, and then we make a different choice.
Exactly. Choose again.
We choose abundance.
Yes. And that's the beauty of it, right?
Right.
We always have the power to choose again.
Mm-hmm.
We can focus on the lack,
right,
or we can focus on what is going well.
Right.
We can choose to dwell in the fear, Or we can choose to dwell in, you know what? It's going to work out.
Right. It's about recognizing when we veered off course and then just consciously like steering ourselves back in the direction
Yes.
of abundance.
Yeah.
It's like having a spiritual GPS.
Oh, I love that. That's such a good analogy.
Thank you.
We set our intention, right. And then we're like, okay, intuition, guidance system, lead the way.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. What if you don't know what that looks like, though?
Yeah.
What if you're like, what is my highest good? Like, I don't even know.
Well, that's where like the fun begins, right?
Right.
Because then it's about getting curious and exploring those passions.
Yeah.
Maybe stepping outside of our comfort zone a little bit,
Ooh, scary.
but allowing ourselves to dream bigger than we have before.
I love that. Because our only limitations are the ones we set for ourselves, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If we can imagine it, we can achieve it.
It's true.
Yeah.
And she wants us to like break free from those self-imposed limitations, to really embrace that infinite potential.
Yes.
And create a life that is just like overflowing.
Yes. Okay. So we've cleared out the clutter. We've set our intention for abundance. We're embracing our infinite potential. What's next? What does it look like to actually step into that abundant life?
Now it's time to take action.
Take action. Okay. I'm ready. Give me the game plan. What does that look like? We're not just going to like sit here and meditate on a pile of empty boxes, are we?
No, not exactly. Although, you know, a little meditation never hurt anybody.
True. True.
But it is about aligning, you know, our actions with our intentions.
Okay.
So if you're wanting more financial abundance, it's not enough to just like think about it, right?
Okay.
Or even just clear out those blocks we were talking about. We have to actually like take those steps.
So like create a budget, launch that side hustle I've been thinking about, finally invest in that course that's been calling my name.
Yes.
Okay.
All of that. Taking those inspired actions. And it doesn't have to be, you know, all hustling all the time. She also talks about becoming more receptive, right, to those opportunities that life throws our way,
Yeah.
even if it comes, you know, from a direction we weren't expecting.
Because, you know, sometimes those opportunities, they come disguised as challenges. Or maybe they're just like, they're asking us to step so far out of our comfort zone that it feels a little scary.
100%. Yeah, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right. But it's about finding that balance, right? Being courageous enough to take action, but also being discerning. Like, is this actually the right move?
Right. Exactly.
So tricky one.
It is tricky, yeah. And beyond all of that, it's that trust, right?
Yeah.
Trusting that we're being kind of guided and supported every step of the way.
Yeah.
That the universe has our back.
I love that. That we're co-creating with the universe, basically.
Exactly.
We're fine-tuning our frequency to attract all the good stuff.
Yes. And the more we align ourselves with that, you know, with that energy, with that frequency of abundance, the more we actually experience it.
Right.
And not just in our bank accounts, but in like, you know, our relationships, our health, our creativity.
Right. It's not just about the money. It's about like living a life that feels rich and meaningful and fulfilling.
Exactly. It's about really stepping into like, I don't know, our power as the creators of our own destiny.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. That's so good.
I'm getting chills.
Me too. What a great conversation.
It has been so fun.
Thank you so much for diving in with me on this one. This has been incredible.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
And for you listening, we hope that you will take this deep dive into your own life. Guidici talked about that tin can buried in the basement, right? What treasures are you burying in fear instead of investing in a prosperous mindset? Until next time, keep diving deep.